What if the person everyone ignores is the one Allah loves the most? What if the individual pushed to the margins of society is actually among the most honored in the sight of Allah? Today, we uncover a powerful lesson from the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, one that has the potential to change how we see others and ourselves forever. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Prophet Muhammad's teachings. This channel is dedicated to bringing you timeless wisdom that not only enlightens the mind but transforms the heart. Stay with me until the end, because this story will leave you with a perspective you will never forget. In a bustling city, a man named Saeed walked the streets alone. His clothes were worn, his eyes carried the weight of silent struggles, and his presence was barely acknowledged by those around him. To the world, he was invisible. People would turn away when he approached, whisper when he passed, and judge without ever knowing his heart. No one asked about his story, his pain, or the burdens he carried. At the local mosque, Saeed would arrive early for every prayer, standing at the back, lowering his gaze, never speaking unless spoken to. His prayers were long, his sujood deep, his connection with Allah unwavering. But to others, he was merely another face in the crowd. Some pitied him, others ignored him. And then one fateful day, something happened that would change everything. After the Fajr prayer, the mosque was filled with conversations. Men greeted one another warmly, engaging in discussions about work, family, and their daily affairs. Saeed stood near the entrance, hesitating before stepping outside. He overheard a conversation that struck him like an arrow to the heart. "People like him," one man muttered. "They are better off left alone. There's nothing special about them." Another nodded. "He's always alone. Perhaps there's a reason for that." Saeed felt the sting of rejection. He had done nothing wrong, yet he was made to feel like an outsider. But was it true? Was he truly insignificant? He lowered his head and walked away, questioning his place in the community. 1400 years ago, in the city of Medina, a similar situation unfolded. A man named Julaibib was known for being different. He had no wealth, no family to support him, and society had cast him aside. People avoided him, and some even ridiculed him. He was an outcast. But unlike the people who turned their backs on Julaibib, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did something extraordinary. He saw past society's labels. He saw the purity of his heart. The Prophet, peace be upon him, approached him, spoke to him with kindness, and treated him with the respect that others had denied him. One day, the Prophet, peace be upon him, asked Julaibib a question that stunned those around him. "Would you like to get married?" Julaibib hesitated. Who would accept him? Who would consider him worthy? Yet the Prophet, peace be upon him, personally arranged his marriage to a woman from a noble family. This was not just an act of kindness. It was a declaration that true worth is not measured by status or wealth, but by righteousness and sincerity. The people of Medina learned a powerful lesson that day. They saw that the man they had once ignored was cherished by the best of creation. They realized that their judgment had been flawed all along. Think about your own life. Have you ever walked past someone and assumed they were unimportant? Have you ever judged someone without knowing their story? Allah tells us in the Quran, "Indeed, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you." Quran 49:13. Not the wealthiest, not the most popular, but the most righteous. Saeed continued his routine, unaware that his sincerity had not gone unnoticed. The Imam of the mosque had been observing him for weeks, moved by his devotion and humility. One evening after prayer, the Imam called upon Saeed in front of the congregation. "My brothers," the Imam said, "I have been watching this man among us. He never speaks ill, he never seeks attention, but his devotion is unwavering. Today, I want us to acknowledge what we have ignored for too long. Saeed, shocked and humbled, looked up as the congregation turned toward him. For the first time, he was truly seen. How many Saeeds walk among us today? How many Julaibibs do we overlook? The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that kindness has the power to transform lives. He showed us that those we ignore may be the ones who hold the greatest value in the sight of Allah. If this message has touched your heart, then let it be a reminder to look beyond what the eyes see, to embrace people not for what they appear to be, but for who they are inside. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Prophet Muhammad's teachings. Let's continue to spread these life-changing lessons together. May Allah guide us to be among those who see with the heart and act with kindness. Ameen.